So what are we doing today?
So this is Vinyl Tag 2021. I think we're late to the party here.
Yeah, usually we try to do them earlier in the year, but yeah, we're doing it.
Tranquilly. Shine.
All right, so Vinyl Tag, for people that aren't familiar, I certainly wasn't familiar until Lance pointed this phenomenon out to me, is a series of questions. It's about 20 questions or so, and they are just kind of you recapping your year in vinyl. So it's a chance to brag.
Or just show like interesting things that you might have picked up over the year. It's just kind of a fun thing to do.
All right, so we're going to try to do this as quickly as possible. We're giving ourselves 20, 30 seconds per record. So we're going to start, and we're just going to hit it. We got the list here. Let's get this going here, and let's go. So we'll go back and forth.
So I'll go first. Favorite album purchase in 2021?
It's tough. It's tough because there's a lot of great records that came out last year. My favorite record, the record that I've been listening to the most perhaps this year, would be King Gizzard's Butterfly 3000. I just think it's amazing. It's a great piece of wax. It's awesome.
Nice.
Good.
All right, I'll go. This is kind of a grail for me. This is Opeth's Damnation. This is the album that got me into Opeth. Opeth is a death metal band. But this record is all clean vocals. It's very well produced by Steve Wilson, and it's a remarkable feat of music.
You're going to see the differences in me and Lance's taste when it comes to this particular video. So we're gonna keep on trucking. The next one is show a record that you spent the most on in 2021.
Oh, and this is reluctantly I spent this. I almost feel like a little regret on this one. So I bought this at a local shop, and it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I grabbed it and I bought it, and I paid way too much for it. I thought this was the songs that were in the Fallout game that you hear on the radio, but it's really just kind of the score and the different music that you hear throughout the game. It's really cool. There's 4 records, and they're all different color. They have kind of that cool blue from the game. And
how much? Brass tacks. How much did you pay? Yeah,
$150.
Oh, I spent the same. That is also the amount of money that I spent on my most expensive record, also a box set. And ironically, this is Buffalo. This is the show, the Grateful Dead live show that is supposedly contends with Cornell, which is arguably the greatest live Dead show that ever happened. This is the Buffalo Memorial show from a couple of days later or before. I'm not exactly sure where it falls into, but it's right around that same period in 1977. And I also paid $150 for this job. All right, go ahead.
All right, next. The album by the first person you saw live.
Okay, the first band that I ever saw live that was a real band was ZZ Top. That's correct.
Wow.
That is very telling. My parents got me tickets to ZZ Top. Los Lobos opened up, and this is Tres Hombres. I've actually had this record a couple times, but I re-picked it up last year and put it on my shelf.
So good. It's such a great...
To stay there. It's just staying there now. Yep. I'm not giving it away.
Don't give it away.
ZZ Top goes pretty quickly, so...
This wasn't technically my first concert, but it's the first concert that really impressed upon me. In college, I got a chance to do event staff at Ozfest.
Love it.
And I mean, I could have picked a number because it was like Tool was there, Megadeth was there, even Limp Bizkit was there.
Dude, his hair, he's a dad. I mean, he's like, oh man.
But I had to pick Ozzy, No More Tears. I picked this up this year. I'm super excited to have. This is the repress that came out in 2021.
And they've been
amazing album.
Repressing a lot of Ozzy lately, I feel like.
Yeah, this one was always hard to find, and they finally repressed it.
They did a big Diary of you could get Diary of a Madman from Walmart for $15 around Black Friday.
Yeah,
so,
I've seen that.
Whatever.
This is an awesome album.
All right, cool, yeah. I'm going to keep going here. Show a record from a band or new band artist you got into in 2021. This was a tough one for both of us. I think.
So this one is Smith Cozen. So this is an interesting album. These guys have been around a long time. If you know, Adrian Smith is the guitarist for Iron Maiden.
Okay.
And then Richie Kotzen. He was in a band, Mr. Big.
Are you saying that right?
Richie Kotzen. I don't know.
Okay.
He's got like over 20 solo albums. He's been in Mr. Big, Wintry Dogs, and they did a collaboration here. And it's pretty cool. It's like blues rock, a little metal in there.
I have a couple that would fall into this category, but I actually forgot to bring it. I'm going to just throw out Big Something's record because they put out their new album, and I caught their show in like February at the Aggie, and I was able to pick up one of their records. So nice. I unfortunately didn't grab that one. We're going to keep moving though.
All right, you're next.
No, I read that one.
Album in the Shrink.
All right.
Oh yeah.
All right. Album in the Shrink.
There you go.
This is a record that I got this year from Jason Blue. He helped me find this one. This is King Floyd's Groove Me. I looked for this record for over a year, and I couldn't find it. And I would just go into record stores all across the country, and I'd be like, hey, you have King Floyd's Groove Me? And, oh, I haven't seen that record in years. And it was, Blue's like, oh, dude, I got 3 of them sitting in my house. So anyway, he ended up giving me one, and it was still in the Shrink.
What kind of music is that?
It's like early 70s funk. So this is a release from 1972. And King Floyd is very funky. You've heard this song. It's the sookie now. You know, it's that. It's Groove Me Baby. It's that song. But so I just had to have that in my collection. So that is still in the Shrink. Love it.
All right, this one. I want to thank you for this.
Oh God.
This is a little. I don't know if it's braggy or what. I'm not even sure what I want to do with this. This is Iron Maiden. No, this is Metallica, Master of Puppets. 1985 press, and it says in Shrink. This is still sealed in the Shrink.
It's notched,
and it's
sealed.
Notched,
so you can tell that it's very early in Metallica's career.
Yeah,
why are they notching platinum records? You know, like what is going on here? So
this album at all is hard to find and pretty expensive. But you pointed me at this guy who had this amazing metal collection, and he had a good handful of really cool stuff that was still sealed. So I just wanted to show this off. It's pretty neat.
It's a cool find for sure.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you still have it in your collection. All right. Let's keep going. Concept album. All right. This is going to be widely different. You go.
Oh, I go next.
Yep. Concept.
So mine is Fear Factory Obsolete. This is kind of the quintessential Fear Factory album. This is more of a hard industrial metal. The concept is about mankind and how the future of mankind and how the machines have taken over humanity. So it's just kind of neat. This is a really cool album. It's pretty hard hitting though.
Yeah, I'm sure Fear Factory is pretty hard hitting. Jesus. That's an older record, right?
Yeah, it's an older one.
So this is a record that came out maybe last year. It might have been 2020. This is a concept album that was put out by Colorado band The Lumineers. They also have a new record that literally just dropped this month called Brightside, which is fantastic. We'll have that on next year's vinyl tag. But this record is a concept record, and it follows the story of these 3 individuals that have these sort of interlacing lives. One's a taxi driver, and there's just sort of these, they worked really hard to create these music videos that sort of tell this story. So I'd invite you guys to check that out.
Oh, that's cool. Show a record you love, but you haven't given much love to of late.
So this is Merle Saunders' Fire Up, and it's actually a fantastic record. It was a record that my wife found when we were digging very early on, and we played the shit out of it when we first got it. I mean, we just played it all the time, like daily for months, and once that was probably in an era when I had a couple hundred, maybe a few hundred records, and now you have 1,500 records in your collection. So things that you played all the time that got a lot of love in the beginning, maybe they get forgotten about. But this record is fantastic. Tom Fogerty's on it. Jerry Garcia's on it. It's just really a fantastic record. And Merle Saunders, man, what an amazing treasure he was.
So this one's kind of funny because last night we were at we were doing a vinyl spin, and in the venue they had a pinball machine.
It's a Zeppelin 3 pinball.
Based on Zeppelin 3. And had
we
all
didn't
the
even play it.
artwork.
I should have played it.
And I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, I haven't listened to that album in so long. Just sat down and listened to a Zeppelin album. So I had to choose Zeppelin 3 for this. I love this. And it's probably been, I don't know, not quite a year, but a good chunk of time.
Fantastic
since I just
record.
sat down and just listened to it.
3 is the one that gets overlooked a little bit. 3 and Houses of the Holy are the harder ones to find, I would say. But all right, moving on. We're going to go with live album from last year.
What did you pick for your live album? That would be me. So this one I picked up. I don't buy a lot of live albums, but I do like.
That's wrong. You should buy live albums.
I like the unplugged ones, and I saw Megadeth put out this live unplugged concert.
Is that an MTV special? Or
no, it's not. It's from a few years back, but they just pressed it on vinyl, and I snagged it up, and it's okay. It didn't blow my mind.
Is it what you'd expect?
Yeah, it's cool. I need to give it a few more listens to. There's some cool songs on there, but it wasn't. It's no Nirvana or Alice in Chains.
It's cool. It's cool. For me, I think this one was one that was really special to me that we picked up last year. This is the live album that Nathaniel Rateliff recorded at Red Rocks in 2020 to an empty room. The sonic layering in this album is just fantastic, and the emotion, the raw emotion that sort of seeps through when he's talking in between songs, it's so powerful because he's super thankful to even be there playing at all that year, to even be playing with his band. Like, he's just super thankful, but at the same time he's just heartbroken about not being able to play during the entire COVID pandemic. So thankfully Rateliff he's doing it now. I went and shot him in December, so yeah, he's out there playing. So
all right, next we have an album from a different continent.
All right, this one's almost a brag score. This is a German pressing of "On the Beach" by Neil Young, and I got this for I think it was like $11, and it was at a flea market, and it's at a flea market that we both go to pretty regularly, and
it was just chilling there.
It was just chilling. It wasn't even in the new stuff. It was on the shelf, and I pulled it out, and I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna pay what is it, $12 for this, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh, it's a German pressing, and it's beautiful. I mean, there's like this one long scuff through the middle of it on this one side, but other than that, I mean,
because even the U.S. press of that is not.
It's hard to find, yeah. So the German pressing for $11 or $12 or whatever I paid was
nice
a score, yeah.
All right, I mean, I'm sorry, I might have to one up you.
I'm sure you will
on this one, but it was
because of me, yeah. This is also from that collection.
This also came from that metal collection.
I bought some AC/DC out of that freaking collection. That's what's crazy to me. Anyway, go ahead.
Thank you. You're a true fan.
I should have looked at the label. I would have noticed.
This is Highway to Hell. This is the Australian press.
Which is where they're from.
Yeah, so it's where they're from.
Yeah.
This thing sounds amazing. Like, it's...
Australians not really known for their pressings, but...
Yeah, and I'll show you the label here that it's on. So it's a different label. It was alternate art.
Different cover.
Yeah, and you can see that even the cover is a little smaller. It has kind of that flimsy
sort
of deal.
Of squishy, European cover.
This is a great find. These are super hard to find, and they're worth a little bit of money.
Worth a few bucks.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, moving on. We are on to show... this one is hard for me, too. Show the record that got you most out of your comfort zone in the past year. For me, I think it was like kind of a tough one because... as I said, one of my favorite records was Butterfly 3000. One of the ones, like, if you know anything about King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard, none of their records are the same. And they put out some pretty heavy records. And I just happened to be at a Second and Charles in, like, Missouri. There was a Second and Charles by the hotel that I was staying at on tour. And I... hopped in there, and this was like $23, regular price, and I thought I would give it a spin, but it's real heavy.
I might need to borrow that.
Don't you have the other heavy one? I don't know.
Yeah, the one that's like 3 songs.
Yeah.
So this one was hard for me because I didn't really understand what they were trying to ask. This is an album. I don't usually listen to this type of music, but I remember this from my college days, and I remember I really liked this. Some of their songs were on some soundtracks and things too. But remember Prodigy, Battle Land? Yeah, this Minefields.
This is somebody's dream record. We're looking for this right now. Wow. 11. Okay. Punk or new wave album? Well, that's
Kinda easy.
That's pretty easy. I got this in the last year. You might have even got this for me. This is Rain on Light.
Yeah, I think you got
this.
Yeah.
So Lance was very, very good when we were first started hanging out, being like, do you need this? Like, do you have this? Especially with like Talking Head stuff, because he knew I was like looking for it, and I just couldn't find it. And I had a real tough time getting. I think you helped me get Fear the Music, Remain in the Light. There's like probably 4 Talking Heads records that you specifically helped me find. So thank you. And this record is fantastic. I listened to this last night.
So I chose a punk album, or the punk album.
The punk album.
The Stooges. So this is the Vinyl Me Please edition of this album. This sounds amazing. It's a colored vinyl. It's a beautifully packaged. So yeah.
And let's take a moment to invite you to the Vinyl Me Please record show going on next month down at... No, I'm kidding. But we will be down there. All right. Go ahead.
Jazz album. Ooh, you got some good jazz?
You know what? This one was... this is more of a brag, too. This is one of those ones where like you go to the thrift store and sometimes there's some gold in them there hills. Like I hate to tell people that because I waste so many hours going to a thrift just because it's the thrift store. That's the Ark. You got to stop by the Ark. You know, you're driving by. You got to stop by it. That's how you score at a thrift store. It's consistency, folks. It's consistency. But you know, most of the time you go in there and it's just a kick in the face and you get some mold on your hands and you move on. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not. But it's like, you know, every once in a while, you know, your friend's like, hey, I just found this Marantz 2252B for $35 at the Goodwill. And you're just like,
yeah.
It happened last year. Anyway, not to me. Anyway, so this Monk and Miles record, it's just sitting there. It's in the back of like a dusty box at Ark, and it was $2, and I don't know why it was in there, but I was happy.
It was a good condition.
Yeah, it's great. It's a Columbia 2i and VG.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
This is a modern repress of this album. I've just been getting to, you know, as I'm getting into jazz, I'm trying to figure out like what type of jazz I like the most, and I'm really leaning more toward like the guitar jazz. I really like the guitar jazz. So like, Grant Green is one of them. You got Wes Montgomery. You have Kenny Burrell. Like those guys. That stuff just really.
George Benson.
Yeah, George Benson. His earlier stuff.
Yeah, Breezin'.
So I don't know. I've just been playing this a lot and really enjoying it. It's a nice thing to put on in the morning and when we're getting ready for the day. It's on that
Blue Note. Yeah.
So this isn't, you know, original press, not worth a ton, but it's just outstanding.
Well, it's cool, you know, because the Blue Note's been going crazy with the represses this year. Yeah. So, all right, moving on. Soundtracks. This is a special one to me. This is one that I don't even think I was ever even really looking for or that I knew that I wanted. I mean, for people that know, the more common sort of animated musical soundtrack from the 70s would be heavy metal. Yep. Some of the producers and the animators and people that were on heavy metal made another film called American Pop. And American Pop it sort of traces the history of American music through these 4 fictional members of a family that all participated in different eras of music. So the first one's like ragtime and very jazz oriented stuff. And you get to the middle guy and he's with Jefferson Airplane. And again, they're using the music very loosely to tell this story about American music, about American pop music. And I was flipping through a bin and there it was. And I'm like, wow. I mean, this record is the reason why Bob Seger's Night Moves has, you know, such an impression. That film has, you know, I just love that song, and it's because of this film that I watched at a very impressionable young age. So it was very cool to find.
Soundtrack was tough for me because I have a nice little collection of soundtracks, and there's a lot of things. I really like movies and stuff, so I chose the Sucker Punch soundtrack for a couple reasons. Even before I got into vinyl, I loved this album. It's a lot of the songs are covers, but pretty much everyone on here is a female vocalist. Mm-hmm. So like Bjork is probably the biggest name on here.
Sure.
But even Emily Browning, the star of the movie, did a couple songs. She did a version of Sweet Dreams Are Made of These. It's just a very like
talented, these
atmospheric, kind of trippy album with, you know, I enjoy it.
Cool. Very cool. Is that now? I noticed that's a numbered release. Is that new this year? You got
this is a couple years old. I had to had to go find this on
number 86.
Discogs, I think.
It's an early press.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, go ahead. Right here, 14.
Album with no writing on the jacket.
Dude, this was a tough one for us. I think we were both going back and forth, and I don't know if this even qualifies, but Billy String's Renewal came out this year, and there is no writing on the front of the album, and it's one of those situations where you'll see it occasionally. Where the record company or somebody will get real nervous and they'll be like, well, there's no writing on the cover. What are you going to do? And they'll put a sticker on the front of it, which is what they did. So I'll take the sticker and try to get it on the sleeve because I'm a nerd like that. But yeah, so when you bought it in the shrink, you could see the title of the record. But once you remove the shrink wrap, there's nothing on the cover. Now, obviously on the back, I kind of cheated a little bit, I think, but on the back of it. But that front cover is kind of cool, kind of artsy, kind of beautiful. Yeah. Nothing on it. No words.
Yeah, I wasn't sure too. So I actually picked this. I think this is the other hard one you were talking about.
Oh, it is.
King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard.
Yes.
So this one doesn't have writing on the front other than there's the hype sticker that tells what it is. Yeah. Again, so I guess that counts.
That's like the record store. It's like the record company's being nervous.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
People won't know what it is. But this is a strange album. It only has 3 songs on it. And it's one song and then the first half of the second song. And then you flip it over and it plays the second half of the second song. And then the third.
And look at the color. I mean, we're
going to get into that too. But yeah,
I mean, that's cool. That's really cool.
It was hard for me not to.
Murder of the Universe is the other real heavy one that I have not listened to.
Yeah. It's kind of fun just to put on and just do stuff,
power wash your house. Something like
pretty
that,
much.
Whatever. One of the two. Okay. All right. Colored vinyl. Okay, so we are jumping there. All right, great. So that was album no writing. Colored vinyl. We did talk about this record a little bit in our last record because it was part of that big collection that we split up. Mm-hmm. I'm a sucker for colored vinyl. I'm always trying to find it. I always want it. I just like it. And we talked about the trademark of quality records and how they were very early adopters of some of these color vinyls. I have since played this record and it plays beautifully. It's actually from a radio recording. So if you're looking for bootlegs and you find out that they are from radio recordings, generally speaking, those are going to be of much higher quality than the other types of bootlegs that you're going to run into. But we kind of talked about that in a video or two ago.
So I went to Fear Factory again. This is their latest album.
Oh my God. You going on Fear Factory tour? Yeah. Are they still playing?
Oh yeah. So I just want this thing is just it's cool. The reason I picked this is, you're looking at the cover and there's kind of this industrial robotic feel to it. And then the record splatter just almost matches that theme, So that's why I chose this one. There's a lot to choose from, but I think this one's fun.
I think I might have double picked this one because I'm such a nerd, and I just want to mention the repressing of God Ween Satan. The colored vinyl on this is ridiculous. It's a blue with a red splatter inlay, and then it's a red with a blue and black inlay. It's just real nice. Anyway, sorry.
So next we have...
I think I just shoved that in there because I was like, oh, we got to do that. I got to show that.
Show Your Pride Dig?
Yeah, so...
For 2021?
So this was...
How do you interpret that?
So for me...
Is it like the coolest thing you found, the thing you're so proud of that you found just digging?
I would say it's got to be found digging. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it can't be something that you order
or you order online.
Yeah. I mean, ordering it online is a little tough for me because sometimes there's stuff that's hard to find and you find it online and it feels real special. Yeah. But I don't think that's what they're talking about here.
Right, you're out in the wild and
you're out in the wild and
amazing.
Preferably, you pay very little for it. I think that's part of it.
Maybe not.
Okay.
For me.
Okay. All right. Well,
go ahead. You go first.
For me, that was part of it. Okay. Scotty. Sorry, bud. Scotty is a guy that runs a little booth down here. And in fact, right now he's having a $2 sale. Whatever. So Scotty runs a booth and he gets fed up with the amount of vinyl that is piled up around him. And he'll just be like, everything's $5. And he usually will go through there and pull out all the Zepp and all the, you know, the really expensive stuff, high value stuff. And they'll leave sort of the middle to chaff in there for that $5 range. Well, he left this record in there. And the funny thing about this record, this is Telluride Sessions. This is a super group of bluegrass proportions. And I brought this record for a couple of reasons. One, if you're looking to get a really good deal on certain records that are really hard to find, you should really do your research on bluegrass records, because it's an opportunity when you know just a few names to find some really high value when a lot of people don't know that these are rare records. They don't know that these records hold value. This record is probably anywhere from $50 to $65 if you were to find it. I paid $5 for it during the $5 sale. And I had to get like a certain number of records to get the deal. You had to get like 10 records to get the deal. And I was at 9. And I walked back to the booth and I started flipping through, and this is in the very back on the go back. And I was like, I just couldn't believe. I love this record so much. I just couldn't believe that I would have not found it on my first go through. If I just left the store, I had gotten my 10 records or whatever. So it pays to really be meticulous when you're digging, and then it can be helpful for you if you study up, your Bella Flex, your Sam Bushes, your John Hartfords, and then you can get more obscure as you go through those. But just finding some of these records, A, they're a treasure to listen to, and B, they can be really valuable.
Sounds sweet.
Yeah, that was my score of the year.
So mine wasn't a super cheap deal, but I found this at a local shop
on the green combat label.
Yeah, so this is
I've never seen that before.
So that's the thing, right? So Megadeth, like OG Megadeth records, I don't know. For me, and I look through a lot of records, I never see them.
Never see them.
Just never see them. Like, you can even find Metallica, like we showed earlier, once in a while.
Sure.
This stuff you can't find. Bizarre got a collection of a ton of metal, and this was in there. And
you paid for it.
I paid for it. I paid about $120 for this guy.
Okay.
So not as much as the stupid.
I want you guys
let's look at the label.
See this label. All right. So I found a collection of like heavy stuff, and I still have a few of them in my bins that was on the gray camo. It's got a red listing for red lettering for the combat, and it's on a gray camo. Those are newer. Those are sort of more late 80s-ish, mid to late 80s. This is like early to mid 80s, and it's just a really rare label. Generally speaking, if you see anything at all on this green combat label or the black and white combat label,
snag it up.
It's worth some money. It's worth you checking out.
This is kind of a grail. This is a grail too, and this artwork.
The cover is ridiculous.
Yeah, this artwork. This might be too long for this video, but we can cut it if we can.
That's fine.
This artwork, the band sent the artist a mock-up of what they were looking for, and for some reason it fell through the cracks, and they realized, oh, we have to do this real quick. So they literally threw this together at the last minute with just junk that was around and stuff they picked up, and sent it to the band, but it was so late, the band was pissed. Yeah. They were like, this is not what we wanted. This is awful. But because of like whatever reason, they had to go with it.
Wow.
So if you find this, on CD, like more represses,
they'll have a different cover.
It'll have a different cover on it.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a fun little story about that.
That's awesome. No, I think we have enough time for that. Where are we at?
17. Show a record from a band from the past that you totally bypassed until recently.
Go ahead.
So I chose Sugarloaf. So this is a psych rock record. It's funny because I never really even knew a lot about psych, and I've been learning about it and kind of getting into it a little bit in the last, few months.
Sure.
And I remember seeing this record in some record store, and I flipped by it and I looked down like, oh, this is cool. Oh, they want too much for it. I don't think I want to take the risk,
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait a minute. And I went home and I was digging through some of the crates I have.
You have.
And it was sitting in there and it was in great shape.
Of course.
And I put it on and it's fire. It's like,
I've come across
it's really cool.
Yeah.
There's these really long, they have like normal psych songs, but then they have these like instrumental interludes and things like that. It's just, it's outstanding. I was really impressed with it. I'm glad I dug it out of the
well, that's good.
The basement.
I think we've psych rock is one of those rabbit holes. It's not my rabbit hole, but it's definitely a rabbit hole.
It might become one of mine.
I hate to even pull this out.
Ooh, that's nice.
This is a nice record that me and Lance traded something for. I had that Slipknot record that I traded you for this.
Yeah. I'm sad I didn't get that incorporated in here.
That's okay. Next year. No, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how this works. I don't know how vinyl tags work. Anyway, I was a little bit of a Dave nerd. I think I'm a Fish fan. If anybody knows that or knows me, they would know.
You like Fish?
I've seen them. I'm closing in on 100. But when I was in college, Dave Matthews kind of ruled college radio, you know? Yep. And so there's a couple of albums that are especially nostalgic to me. Under the Table and Dreaming being the most of those. Yeah, so I had not really been down the Dave vinyl rabbit hole at all, and Lance came across this. We did a trade, and then he actually just gifted me Crash for my birthday. So now I don't need any more Dave Matthews Band records at all. Just those two.
We might talk about Crash next time, right?
Next time.
Next is the album cover one, right?
Is it box set or album?
Oh no, box set.
Yeah,
you're right.
Show box set. Yeah, cool.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I picked this one not because it is the rarest or the hardest to find or anything, but this is the recently re-released Beatles White Album. It's been remastered, and I'm not even so super hyped up about the remastering because I have an original pressing of this. It's gorgeous. It's what I listen to when I really want to listen to the White Album. What excited me about this is that they packaged it with the Escher demos. People that don't know is the Escher demos are basically like the Beatles Unplugged. It's all four Beatles sitting in George Harrison's living room, and they basically are demoing different tracks, most of which appeared on the White Album, several of which did not.
It looks like it's a similar track list.
Yeah, there is. You can see them kind of wander off here and kind of maybe not play things in the exact right order.
Oh, so they didn't play Wild Honey Pie. I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, that's that's neither here nor there. But that being said, this came out. I believe it came out last year. It maybe the year before. But when it came out, it was like $120, and I think that's in most retail outlets. It's still what it was. They must have had a shit ton of them or made a shit ton of them because at some point, Walmart had these for $49.95.
What?
And I went back. I saw it and I was like, do I need it? Do I need another copy of the White Album? I really want the Escher demos. And I literally got up the next day and went straight to Walmart and bought it because I was like, dude, it's only $50. You can sell your right.
If I'd have known that, I might have snagged it because this is my Beatles album.
Yeah, this is my Beatles album too, I would say. But yeah, this was a very cool little box set that came out last year. And if you're lucky, go to your Walmart and see if you can get it for $50. Jesus.
Yeah, I think I have 3 different copies of the White
I
Album.
let another one go.
I had someone one.
I had a modern pressing that was not dissimilar to this one.
I don't tend to buy a lot of box sets. Oh, this thing's heavy. But yeah, we did the Black Sabbath Volume 4. So they're
the Super Deluxe.
Yeah. The Black Sabbath has been releasing these with a handful of albums. They did Paranoid last year. They did
5 LPs.
Yeah, they've been doing a couple ones. So I broke down and said, I just want to see what all the hype's about and see what it's like. And it was like $65 or whatever.
There was a good smoking deal on this.
It was really neat. There's a lot of live. Some of the albums are just live recordings, and then there's outtakes and different things. But then you actually get the album, and the copy I had was pretty beat too. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to do this, and then I have my volume 4 and I'm good. But it's pretty cool. I don't think I'm going to buy any of the other ones just because, I don't know, it didn't blow me away.
I like box sets for live shows because I feel like you're getting a complete thing. But when you're buying a box set for a singular album, I feel like that's overkill. They just did that Deja Vu box set that's got 4 or 5 LPs and all the alternate takes. And I'm like, do you need that for Deja Vu?
I mean, most of the stuff I'm probably going to listen to once. I probably listen to it once and then I'm good.
Right. So, all right, so now it's your favorite coolest cover art of 2021 or that you got this year. This is a record from 1977. I'm going to take it out of the... Oh, the sticker's still on it. You're screwed. You got to see it with the sticker.
That's sweet.
This is Eddie Hazel's... I don't want me to say that. It's Games, Dames, and Guitar Things. I'm going to make sure I say that correctly. This record was from 1977. It was a cult, incredibly hard to find. When I got that collection of 2,000 records, and there was that collection of funk that initially took me down the funk rabbit hole, the original pressing of this was in there. And that's when, if you've ever heard me spin anything from this at the different vinyl spins, that's the version that you were hearing. Yeah. This year, Zia, Newberry, a bunch of other independent producers all made different like colored variation versions of this. So this is the new Newberry blue vinyl version of Eddie Hazel's Games, Dames, and Guitar Things on that sort of like light blue vinyl. It's very nice.
For those who don't know, can you just say real quick who Eddie Hazel is and what he was in? Eddie
Hazel is the guy that played the guitar solo on Maggot Brain, and that's all you need to fucking know.
So,
no, I'm kidding.
So he was the guitar player for Funkadelic.
He was the guitar player for Funkadelic, and he's very widely responsible for that sort of searing, soaring guitar sound that was overlaid on all that funky stuff. That sort of real gritty, grimy guitar work was all Eddie Hazel. Yeah. And this record is like his guitar licks, like to the nth degree. I mean, there's a version.
I might need to find a copy of this.
And it's available now. Zia only did 250. There's a version of California Dreaming on this, as well as I Want You, She's So Heavy. And they're unrecognizable to their original versions.
Yeah, you played that the other night.
Yeah, so good.
She's So Heavy.
So good. So I the cover though, just ridiculous.
I don't know if I have a whole lot to say about this one, but the cover is like really not. Actually, the vinyl is pretty sweet too. Rob Zombie's new album. He's just so over the top. Anyway, this is just such a cool cover. I like it. This is a fun album if you're into that sort of thing. The splatter is pretty wild too.
I like that it's kind of throwbacky.
Yeah, it kind of has that 70s sort of like psychedelic
kind of a
sort of thing.
Vibe, for sure.
And he kind of brings that into his shows and a lot of his videos and things like that too. But like with the horror aspect to it.
Yeah, so. for sure. All right, we're getting towards the end, folks. All right, show a record that you got as a present in 2021.
All right.
Well, I have a lot, and I could have done a couple that Lance gave me too. But in the interest of giving a shout out to my sister-in-law, who always gives me the coolest shit, this was a record that she just got me for my birthday. People give me records, and it's nice. So thank you, people.
That's one of the nice things about collecting vinyl is you always have like someone asks you, "What can I get you for your birthday or Christmas?"
And you have at least 10 records that are on your want list that you're like, "Oh, do I need to spend $40 on this right now, or $30 on this, or whatever?"
So it's nice.
So this was a record that was out of print for a minute. It's the first EP in like a 2015 EP from Shaky Graves. It's the name of the two EPs are Nobody's Fool and The Donor's Blues, and they both showcase two widely different eras of Shaky Graves. One's very much more acoustic and sort of that raw, gritty sound that he was known for with his early stuff, and then the other one is very much like some of his later. It has a little bit more of a electro vibe, I guess, on some of that stuff. But it's cool. Very interesting, and this actually completed my Shaky Graves vinyl collection. I have all of them.
All right. I'm gonna go with Benny Wallace.
Ooh,
this is a cool jazz, but it also has a little bit of a blues feel to it. Someone gave me this for Christmas.
It might have been a Christmas present. You had a couple. When you collect records with a friend, find people that you can collect records with because look, especially someone that like you don't necessarily like the same stuff. That's maybe more key, because you can kind of help there's that
Blue Note.
That's the old school Blue Note for sure.
And this is a great album too.
Well, I'm glad you like that one.
Super chill.
Yeah. There's some pretty cool personnel on this one too, right? Is this the one that had all the guests on it?
Yeah, Dr. John.
Yeah, good stuff. I have one honorable mention. I think I would be remiss if I didn't somehow, and I could have worked this in a couple of different ways, either with a colored vinyl or whatnot, but the reissue for Record Store Day of Aretha Franklin's 1972 Philly show. I mean, Jesus, it's just so good.
Yeah,
I've listened to it just over and over and over again since I got it. So that's my honorable mention for Vinyl Tag 2021. I hope we did this right. If we didn't, certainly tell us. You know what I mean? Like, tell us.
This is our first Vinyl Tag. This is our first Vinyl Tag. We wanted to try it.
But yeah, we want to engage with the vinyl community. We're working on coming up with some different avenues to be more consistent creating content for you guys, and we just want to continue sharing the love of vinyl. So
Yep.
this is Vinyl Tag 2021 from the Vinyl Herd.
Thanks.
We'll see you next year.
Tranquilo. Shine.